The day was sometime in February and the year was 2020. I was happily involved in several ministries at Church of Peace, and it was very satisfying. I volunteered faithfully in the food pantry on the third Saturday of the month. I did intake and I got to visit with each person and sign them up. I had a great pen pal in the Pen Pal Ministry program. I'm a deacon here at Church of Peace, making visits to shut-ins, spending time, then closing with communion and a prayer was a really special ministry for me. I had been serving as vice president of the church council for a few years, and attending those meetings gave me the chance to listen and share ideas from myself and others. My favorite ministry has been Peace Pals. That is the most jam-packed 2 hours of my week on Wednesdays. With a quick jump, February turned to March. COVID-19 had infiltrated our state and our community. I won't ever forget that important meeting of church council when we voted to do something that had never happened at Church of Peace. We voted to close our church for 2 weeks, fully expecting to be back in time for a joyous Easter celebration. We decided to keep the food pantry open because people really needed food in this time when the future was so fuzzy. Everything in our world was screeching to a sudden halt. That 2 weeks grew into a month and another month and another. Peace Pals couldn't have met even if the church hadn't closed because the school was closed. Many of our shut-ins were in facilities that did not allow anyone to come in. The deacons realized that was solid practice to protect our loved ones. I decided to send mail to people that they would be able to reread and look at as often as they'd like. It didn't compare to regular visits from the deacons, but it was an important way to stay in touch. My pen pal quit writing except to tell me that COVID was rampant in the prison. Church council met on Zoom. Food pantry changed. We were no longer doing intake. We were feeding a lot more people, and we did our best to be friendly as we put things in people's cars. If we jump from the strangest spring I had ever lived through and an equally strange summer, fall came, and I got COVID. I spent 4 days in the ICU before spending several days in the hospital. When I came home, I got to enjoy a wonderful meal arranged by Mary Elschlager. There were more meals that Mary had arranged for us. It had taken me several weeks to get back to being myself and several more to get past some of the symptoms of COVID. Being quarantined in the hospital, then in my house, was a new and difficult thing to deal with. The meals provided by the Church of Peace were a bright spot. They gave me an understanding of the value of what I had been doing as a deacon. As a matter of fact, having COVID helped me to see several things more clearly. Having something tangible like a card or a note was important. It helped me to realize that my church was alive and well and that I wasn't forgotten. I knew that there had to be other ways to use my time doing things that shared God's love and would help others. I did a few things like participating in a couple of book studies on Zoom and recording a literacy lesson with Bennett to show what we were doing in Peace Pals. I ramped up the card and letter ministry that I was doing as a deacon, and I even applied for tutoring opportunities with United Way. I was really missing my Peace Pals. I realized that it was time to use some of my energy and feelings of love and caring in other ways. The day of our congregational meeting on Zoom, I got the answer. I made the jump to becoming the president of church council. I knew it was something that might challenge my skills, but I also knew I was bringing a lifetime of responsibility and leadership skills to the position. It has helped me to have amazing people to support me, who I know I can call for immediate help on any concern. I never expected that I would be leading council, but I am so glad to be able to use my time and talent in these ways. It has been worth stepping out of my comfort zone. My reset button has given me some amazing opportunities.